This is the Break Live on Dominion Television. Happy New Week. Good morning, Samson.
Good morning to you. Yemi. It's a brand new week, and we are really glad to be back here. After the much celebrated 1-year anniversary of Dominion Television, of course, you are still in the mood of celebration anyway.
Right.
At least for the next 1 month, we should be celebrating. And randomly, we'll pick every member of staff to be buying, what it is for celebration.
Definitely.
Anyway.
We'll see to that after the show.
And today you are starting.
Why should I start?
Okay, away from there, there was a statement that was made yesterday, and as funny as it sounds, it really says a lot about what Nigerian politicians, what they think of Nigerians, and what really goes through their mind at every point in time, despite all challenges being faced.
Right.
Governor AbdulRahman AbdulRazaq of Kwara State, a second-time governor, whose state is currently being ravaged by, major insecurity challenges, because it's becoming more and more of a problem. We saw kidnappings, we saw killings in their numbers. In Kayama, just under 2 weeks ago, about 170 Nigerians were maimed, and they lost their lives. And after all that was done, all that matters to the governor of Kwara State right now is how he intends to win the Federal Capital Territory for the president in the next election. Yes, the election is around the corner, but what should be his primary objective right now? And I think that is a yardstick or a benchmark to discuss how much of an importance Nigerian lives actually mean to Nigerian politicians. At this time, I think what should really matter to Governor AbdulRahman AbdulRazaq is what exactly is going on in my state. And as the chief security officer in my state, what is my number one responsibility? It is to make sure that lives and properties of the Kwara State people are his priorities at this time. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Yes, when the incidents happen, the first thing he does is to rush to the president, have a closed-door meeting with him, and then probably some solutions were provided. But how well have you followed these solutions given to you by the president, word for word? Have you matched it with actions? It's not just about you coming to the press and say, oh, we are going to take decisive action about what is going on in the state. It's about you be able to put this to an end. Kwara State is in the southwest. And the only thing Nigerians have said so far is, sometimes when they talk about politics, is that the reason Southwesterners are not really bothered is because they have enjoyed relatively calmness in their states, because there's no insecurity of any large magnitude. But unfortunately, it's becoming more and more of a problem, because if you get to Kwara, you are close to Ekiti, definitely, because they share boundary. Definitely, you are coming down to Oyo, and that's exactly, because if you are talking about Niger, Kwara, and Oyo, at one point or the other, they share boundaries, and that is exactly why we are seeing influx of banditry and bandits in Oyo State as we speak. We saw how some forest guards were maimed just under a month ago. These are challenges that are facing the people of the Southwest as we speak. Some people are apprehensive. They are really, on their toes right now. Some cannot sleep with their 2 eyes closed, because they feel and they fear that insecurity will get to their doorstep as soon as possible. And that might just be a problem going into the next election. And we all know all of this. But the governor of Kwara State seems to be unbothered. All that he cares about is politics. And the most annoying part of it to some people, because when you read comments in, when you get to the comment section, was the fact that this is not even your state. If you are talking about Kwara, people would understand. Yes, you are in the North Central, but the FCT is not your business. All that matters to you right now is to secure the lives and properties of the people of Kwara.
It's really sad. And then I think I said something one time that if they explain Nigeria to you, and you understand, it simply means you have been here before. And maybe you have past questions that can help others navigate all that is going on. Because, you cannot just understand what is going on. When I saw that headline, and then, of course, I knew that, people would complain bitterly, especially with the fact that, I think there was a recent attack that even happened in Kwara yesterday. Right. Very early in the morning, I think around 1:30 a.m. About 4 persons were abducted, no one was killed. And the Nigerians are asking, there's even a video that is circulating online, where Boko Haram paraded about 100 people, or more than 100 people, and then those Boko Haram people were saying that, the government is trying to play some kind of propaganda. And you begin to, if you want to try to understand this thing, there's no clear way to even understand all that is going on. And then one more thing is, just like you mentioned, quite a number of governors have come out to say, for instance, now Governor Monday Okpebholo of Edo State, there was a time that he was interviewed and he said that he'll be giving President Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2.5 million votes. in 2027. Another one is, Benjamin Kalu. He also came out recently to say that he will ensure that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will win 2020, we win Abia, for the 2027 general elections. These people are not really concerned about whatever it is that is going on in the state. And people are being killed, people are abducted on a daily basis. One sad thing is, let me talk about the Kebbi incident where schoolgirls were abducted. The governor came out to say that, okay, shortly before that incident happened, he heard that somebody ordered that the security operatives should be they should withdraw security operatives from that particular area, and then those people were kidnapped. Till now,
who gave the order?
We can't tell the person that gave that order. So that's another case. Another case is this Kwara that we are talking about. When that first attack happened, we heard that it was close to 24 hours before the security operatives actually responded to whatever it is that happened. Close to 24 hours. What were they doing? These are the questions that we should begin to ask.
Operated for hours.
For hours, and nothing happened. So now talking about the FCT now. Yes, I know that when it comes to FCT, people are very interested, especially with what happened in 2023, when the current president now, APC, lost FCT. And then they had to take the case to court to say that he cannot be declared president because he lost FCT. He didn't get all to 25%. In FCT, and then the Labour Party candidate had more than that. As a matter of fact, I think he had about 61% of votes that were cast in FCT. And then so people are now trying to link it to that incident of 23, but away from even election. Let's not even talk about the FCT now. Let's talk about the lives of the people. It is good to talk about things like that when the nation is safe. It's so sad because at the time Kwara used to be very calm. So I don't know what is going on now. It has become like that center of attraction for these people to perpetrate all sorts of evil. It's really sad. How did we even get to this place? And I don't understand. There were even claims of some persons saying that is the president even bothered about the situation because he spoke about it. Remember the Benue attack when the president went there? You remember that he could not even go to the hot places of where
it was just at the state
exactly
capital.
Because of the roads were bad. We are not talking about things like that. Do you know that even this Kwara incident that happened, they sent letters that they are coming. And at the end of the day, nothing was done. When they even informed these people that they are coming. It's really sad, and I don't know how we are going to solve all of this before the next elections, really.
You see, what people are beginning to think out there is that some of these killings and kidnappings are beginning to look like they are politically motivated. And, you just can't help but think that way too. But unfortunately, we are in a situation where, Nigerian politicians don't know the difference, or probably they know the difference, or they're just acting ignorant of it. The difference between governance and politics. These are two different things. And you see, you can play politics when you are not in power. And it is understandable because you want to scheme, you want to be in the scheme of things, you want to scheme your way into office. People would understand all of that. But the moment you are saddled with the responsibilities of leading, and lawmaking, it changes how you think because you are now responsible for hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people in some places, and definitely hundreds of millions of people in some situations, which means the presidency. And unfortunately, we are in a country like Nigeria where we play politics with everything and anything, and that also includes what is going on right now. The governor has not been able to separate governance from politics. You see, there's time for everything. Sometimes you find yourself in a situation where you feel like, even as human beings on day-to-day lives, I think economics taught us a lot of things, which is opportunity cost, forgotten alternatives, scale of preference. You decide what matters to you at one point or the other. You get to separate all of this. And the moment, you see, even as humans, things will come at you very fast. And you have to decide which one you have to undo first. And that decision might make or mar you as a person, especially when you have things to pursue in the future. I want to believe the governor is making a very big mistake at this time because I don't know what he wants the people of Kwara to think of him after he's done with his 8 years tenure as governor. We have seen people come and go, and he's not the first person to be the governor of Kwara State. We also once had Bukola Saraki as governor of Kwara State 8 years. Abdul Fattah Ahmed was governor for 8 years. Now it is his turn, and it's looking like some of these things that we are seeing really did not happen in the time past. And that also tells us about how people tend to shift the narrative and change the whole conversation. We understand that, at one point or the other, we'll have some of these political killings. It does happen. This is not the first time we are seeing killings. In fact, to an extent, I feel like some of these killings reduced a little bit, and I'll tell you why. We once saw bombings here and there in this country. Suicide bombings, not one, not two. In fact, in a week, there's never a day you go through the pages of the newspaper and you not find bombings. And something must have happened in one place or the other, especially in the northeast. Borno State, for example, we had a lot of that under the Goodluck Jonathan administration. And then came the Muhammadu Buhari administration, a lot of killings too. And people will ask you about, how about people who make serious claims? In fact, some of them are outrageous claims, and then nobody has done anything about it. Sheikh Gumi, for example, is still walking around the country and nobody is saying anything. This same Sheikh Gumi was banned from coming to Saudi Arabia. In fact, it can be said that he almost went, and he was said to have been told to go back to his country because they feel like he has ties with bandits and terrorists in Nigeria. This is someone that still contributes to national issues in our country. And there are so many other people. Malam Nasir El-Rufai, for example, has been making some bold claims and nobody has even tried to ask him questions. Just recently, he made, I think we discussed it on this show, where he said when he gets to Nigeria, there's a chance he's going to be arrested. This same person came on national TV and said the NSA's phone was tapped. And he got a whim of the fact that he was going to be arrested. Now, he said someone did it. Yes, we understand that he did not do it. But who did it? He should be, he should be invited to actually point to that person. Oh, this person did and gave me the information.
The son came out to say that the phone was not tapped.
You see, people, I think Nigeria, when you talk about Nigeria in some countries, especially for those who are not here, and there was something I was saying to someone a few days ago. I said, look, if there is ever somewhere called heaven, right? Nigeria will be more or less like their Cartoon Network. When they feel like there is need for therapy, they just want to laugh, smile, and they just tune in. They just tune into Nigeria and then they smile, because these claims, someone is making this serious claim about people, and some of them could be traced back to before a pre-election era, right? And you associated with them. You worked with them until they won an election. So what does that say about you as a person? So I'm beginning to feel like Malam Nasir El-Rufai is becoming a joke. He's making a joke of himself on national television. And I think he's not the kind of person that should come. There are two conflicting videos of him. There was one when he was governor of Kaduna State, where he said they have to pay bandits because he feels the lives and properties of the Kaduna people is much more important to him. That's going to, have to give an account when he gets to heaven. That was one. The other one, he said, no, he doesn't have to pay bandits. They should be sent to hell, blah, blah. He said that too. This is a person that has spoken with two sides of his mouth. And nobody has questioned him for anything he has said. There are not just Sheikh Gumi, there are so many other people who have taken the side of bandits and terrorists in this country. There is someone in this country who was seen whining and dining with a known terrorist. And unfortunately, he found his way to the corridor of power. This is the same country that all of us live in. And unfortunately, if we continue this way, I don't see Nigeria in 10 years, because it's becoming a disaster already. And people are beginning to make a joke or a mess of this country. And the only thing we can do now is to make people accountable for whatever it is they do and they say. Otherwise, look at Omoyele Sowore in court. Someone asked you, the court asked you, why did you call this person so name? He said, oh, because this person did it in the past. So if that person actually did that, why was he not charged? That's another question. So we are beginning to set precedences that might eventually become a problem. Because now there's this particular thing I used to read, Law Pavilion, where even if judges want to make some claims or they want to give some judgments, they go back to their precedences. What happened in the past? Who was the judge that presided over this case? What judgments? How similar are these cases? So I can know what to say when I get to court, or the kind of judgment I give. But then Nigeria is writing a story. We are writing history. And your children, my children, our children will come back and read this history we are writing. We should be made accountable for whatever it is we say and we do.
Honestly, let me take it from that angle of Nasir El-Rufai, because I watched the interview, and then when the interviewer asked him a question to say that, a certain man, a lecturer, and a fierce critique of your government, was kidnapped in 2019.
It has not been seen till date.
Yeah, that's Dadiata. And then he responded and said that, oh, Dadiata was never a fierce critique of my government. It was a fierce critique of Kano State, Ganduje in particular. But then over time, if you check this man, if you check his tweet, a lot of Nigerians will agree and say that, no, it was a fierce critique of, Kaduna State and, of course, Nasir El-Rufai. So these are the issues. And then he was trying to say this to, just, brush off the whole matter. At the end of the day, up till now, we've not heard anything about Dadiata. If he knew, for him to have said that, okay, is a fierce critique of Kano State and, of course, Ganduje, maybe he needs to come and answer more questions on where that man is. Because he was kidnapped in Kaduna State. Absolutely. He's under your province. He was kidnapped while you were governor of the particular state. So these are the issues. Still talking about insecurity. Another matter we should begin to talk about is the fact that I also read an headline where Wike said, anyone who does not support Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not win the election. Speaking about FCT polls, what do you mean by that? In a democratic state, how can you come out to say that whosoever that does not support Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not win election? He even said that he will not be supporting anybody who doesn't support Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You are a minister, fine, accurate, but why should we keep making statements like that? People are allowed to vote for whosoever they want to vote for. It's a democratic state. And another thing that I would love us to talk about is, I don't know why so many politicians are bothered about the FCT. Yes, we understand. I made reference to what happened in 2023, where APC lost FCT. But if you look at the Nigerian constitution, according to the constitution, whosoever will be declared president must at least have 25% vote in 24 states plus FCT. According to the constitution, FCT is considered as a state. However, APC lost FCT, had about 90,000 votes or so. And then even in 2019, APC also lost FCT. PDP won in FCT, but at the end of the day, Buhari was declared president. Still 2023, a lot of persons were even celebrating, say, oh, maybe APC will not be declared though because APC lost FCT.
Some even thought there was going to be a runoff election.
Yes, that was what a lot of persons thought, but shockingly, APC was declared the winner of that election, and they won. So I see. One thing is, the constitution itself is too ambiguous. By the time you hear when some judges interpret the constitution, you'll be doubting your knowledge of English language. Because by the time you hear some things, this is what I can read.
Have you ever compared judgments given against the CTC?
It's a problem. Look at what happened with Natasha Poti-Duan. I mean, Aisha Yusufu said what was said in court, what they heard, was different from the CTC that was printed at the end of the day. So the constitution itself is a problem to this country. So when some persons are calling for, let's just put an end to this constitution and draft a new one, it is good to draft a new one. But what about those that will interpret the constitution? That's the real problem, because I don't understand. It's so clear that this is what is obtainable, but at the end of the day, they do something else. It's really sad.
Well, I think Nigeria is a country with complex issues. The problems with Nigeria is hydra-headed, that we have always said. Yeah. And sorting that out doesn't only require a new constitution, it also requires the willpower to get it done and do the right thing. Most Nigerians know the right thing. But unfortunately, because it does not benefit them, they won't do it. And that includes politicians. In fact, I can say that they are the problems Nigeria has always faced. Most times you see them do things that it only benefits them. Even policies, sometimes you know that, oh, this is for the sake of, the politicians. But then we do hope that going forward, changes will be made and Nigerians will have, the belief that they are the country that really cares about them and not, against them.
Definitely.
And it's on that note, we leave that particular topic this morning. Let's help you navigate and plan your day this morning. And we'll be doing that with a weather report.